The unsettling whisper, am I enough? Ever catch your reflection, that voice inside sighing, am I ever truly enough? You're there, that familiar sense of falling short, of being perpetually unfinished, pressing in. Suddenly, a forgotten line surfaces, a whisper, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Philippians 1 verse 6. Not just memorized words, but an unexpected thread of hope. A flicker, yes, but then doubt floods in. A beautiful promise, but for me, with all my flaws and incomplete projects. What can this ancient assurance of God's work, this promise of completion, truly mean for your messy, modern life? It's one thing to hear such a promise. It's another to truly internalize its power when life feels utterly overwhelming. The weight of that unsettling whisper, am I enough, still hangs heavy. You've heard the ancient words, a lifeline. But what happens when the very hands meant to shape you begin to feel less like gentle guidance and more like an unrelenting, even crushing pressure? The potter's hands, when shaping feels like breaking. So, that crushing pressure? Let's talk about it. Imagine raw, unformed clay for a moment. It doesn't choose its own form, does it? And sometimes, the pressure to become, it truly aches. You feel life's pressures acutely, those moments of being turned, squeezed, sometimes left in a bewildering, silent pause. That's the potter at work, as Isaiah 64 verse 8 reminds us. We are the clay, he is the potter. Maybe your career has hit an invisible wall, that promotion's still frustratingly out of reach. Or perhaps a relationship you deeply cherish feels constantly tested, stretched to its breaking point. That personal goal, that dream project you poured your heart into, it's stalled, gathering dust, and you feel the intense heat of that inaction, the immense pressure of simply not making any visible progress. You can't help but ask, your voice tight with emotion, is this divine shaping actually making me better, or is it just wearing me down, piece by piece? Why does it feel like absolutely nothing is happening, or, even worse, like I'm actually going backward? It's a tough pill to swallow. But what if those moments of agonizing stillness, those detours that feel like total regression, are not mistakes? What if they are a deliberate, even crucial, part of God's hand in your shaping process? The discomfort is real, a knot in your stomach as you grapple with this thought. Can you truly endure this? Has the potter, in his vast workshop, somehow forgotten this piece of clay? The doubt, cold and insistent, whispers. And then, in a moment of raw honesty, the cry bursts from you. I just can't see any beautiful design in this. It doesn't feel like divine purpose. It just feels like pain. Your cry echoes in the silence, a stark admission of wavering faith. But just as that heartfelt plea hangs in the air, another voice, ancient yet startlingly immediate, prepares to cut through the turmoil. It doesn't offer easy answers, but something far more vital, a lifeline of pure tenacity. Holding the line, faith's tenacity when hope crumbles. Your painful cry, that stark admission of wavering faith, still hangs in the air. But remember that promised lifeline, that voice of pure tenacity? It's about to make itself known. Picture this, it's 3 a.m. The house is deathly silent, but your mind? A raging tempest. Each whispered prayer feels like it collides with the ceiling and tumbles back, unheard. Hope isn't just dangerously low. It feels like a cruel, mocking joke. This is precisely when that lifeline appears, an ancient, powerful challenge from Hebrews 10 verse 23. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering. Straightforward on paper, isn't it? But how do you hold fast when your knuckles are white and your grip is terrifyingly failing? One part of your exhausted soul screams to just let go, to surrender to the silence, to give up on this unseen, wavering promise. Yet, a smaller, defiant voice whispers back, hold on, just a little longer. Your faith feels like it's slipping through your fingers like sand. I can't do this anymore. The thought crystallizes, sharp and clear. You're at the edge, but then, a crucial realization hits. What if it's not about your strength to hold on? The verse powerfully continues, for he who promised is faithful. Suddenly, the focus shifts entirely. Not your grip, but his divine presence, his unyielding faithfulness to his promise. And here's a surprising element. Your very breath, your continued searching even amidst doubt, The fact that you are even thinking these thoughts, isn't that proof that God hasn't let go of you? This isn't you failing, it's God holding. This is the turning point from your failing grip to his unfailing one. The tension is in this desperate cling to belief. You look at your hands, as if physically trying to hold on to something invisible, whispering, He won't let go of me. You clench your fists around that dawning realization, the question hanging in the charged air, He won't let go of me. A fragile, almost unbelievable hope begins to stir. But just as quickly, the shadows of your past creep back, whispering their insidious lies. Okay, so maybe he hasn't let go. But surely, with your mistakes, all your disastrous detours, you've derailed his plans for good this time. Beyond the blueprint, your past doesn't disqualify his purpose. That fragile hope, that whispered question, he won't let go of me. It hangs there. But almost instantly, the shadows of your past creep back, their insidious lies echoing. Okay, so maybe he hasn't let go. But surely, with your mistakes, all your disastrous detours, you've derailed his plans for good this time. Indeed, just as that hope dawns, the ghosts of past failures decide it's showtime. They parade before your eyes. That broken promise, that fumbled opportunity, those harsh words you can't retract. A chilling voice, sounding terrifyingly like your own, condemns you. You're unworthy. You've messed up too many times. Game over. But is this truly the final verdict on your purpose? You shrink under that accusation, the fear that your past mistakes and present struggles have permanently disqualified you from God's plan. You see them, don't you? Those specific moments of failure, replaying. This is your internal trial, their heavy accusation versus a dawning, unbelievable whisper of grace. Then, a thought so radical it's stunning. What if God isn't disappointed? What if he's invested? Deeply, personally. What if he sees not just you now, with your scars, but the magnificent you that you are becoming through his forgiveness? This reframes everything. Suddenly, your past isn't a wall blocking God's purpose. It's part of the story he's still redeeming. Your struggles don't scare him. Your present battles don't cancel his plans for you. This dawning realization doesn't erase past mistakes, but it strips them of their power to define you, to disqualify you from his grace. You take a deep, shaky breath. Wonder replaces shame. A new question, filled with tentative hope, he's still working in me? Even now, the accusatory ghosts recede. A profound weariness remains, but it's tinged with fragile peace. As the day's battles fade, how do you approach the night? Not with fear of your incompletion, but with an invitation for his work to continue? The surrendered night, stability in the unfolding story, that fragile peace, the quiet invitation for his work as night now truly falls. How does that unfold within you? The day is utterly spent. Every ounce of your energy feels depleted. The quiet of the night descends, bringing with it that familiar, heavy weight of all that's still undone, all that still aches deep inside. Is there any true rest, you wonder, any real peace for a soul that feels so perpetually unfinished? This is where that invitation now leads. You make a conscious, deliberate decision, a night prayer taking shape in your heart. All right, Lord, I can't fix this. I definitely can't rush this. I yield. I surrender it all. One by one, you mentally lay down those specific worries that gnaw at your mind, the persistent doubts that cloud your spirit, and the immense frustration of what feels like painfully slow progress. You acknowledge God's unique pace, whispering, the potter works at his own pace, a divine rhythm far different from your own. And that's okay. So, where do you find stability when everything else feels like it's shifting? Not in visible outcomes, not in your limited understanding, but steadfastly in God's unchanging character. The Lord is my portion, your soul affirms. That is your anchor. There's tension in this act of surrender, a profound vulnerability in trusting an unseen, ongoing process, in letting go of your tight control. It feels like a risk, doesn't it? But what if it's the only way to genuine stability? Then, a surprising, almost secret thought arrives. Even in my sleep, his work can continue. Imagine that. Your very rest becoming a canvas for his divine artistry. So you pray, a quiet, complete surrender. Anchor my dreams in your promises tonight, Lord. Guard my thoughts with your truth. A profound settling begins to spread within you. This isn't the peace of a finished work, but the deeper peace of trusting the finisher. You breathe deeply, a quiet, hopeful question forming as sleep beckons. What will this surrendered rest truly yield by morning? A quiet confidence settles. The work isn't over, no, but the master worker is still on the job. And with that incredible assurance, a completely different kind of dawn feels not just possible, but wonderfully inevitable. The unfolding dawn, rising in his strength. And so, that wonderfully inevitable dawn arrives. Soft gray light filters in. Your eyes open. That old ache of being unfinished. Is it still the first voice? Or has the surrendered night woven a different texture into this new day's morning? Something has shifted. You recall the journey, the whisper of inadequacy, the pressures of shaping, the fight for hope, confronting past failures, then the peace of nightly surrender. Through it all, a core truth. God is faithfully completing his work in you. You rise, not with all problems solved, but with a quiet spirit, clear eyes. The path still unfolds, but the strength you feel is gentle, renewed. His, not yours. Hold this affirmation today. This is not the end. It's another step toward his promised completion. Another day surrendered in trust, another night covered by grace. Step into this new day with that quiet confidence. His work continues. You are held,